got next.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Street Fighter I Got Next community podcast. What's really going on, y'all? We are in season 3, episode 4 of this ongoing series. It's your host with the most, the Win Commander himself, Shadow Ace on the ones and twos, and of course, I'll be the moderator for this podcast, John Boy, my co-host on production, always making sure the vibes are smooth. The mayor of Macon himself, Sir Retro, and of course, as tradition, I always want to first thank Sir Retro for agreeing to host and do production on this discussion with me. The reason I have assembled everyone here together today is to get their views and opinions on the latest entry in the Street Fighter franchise. That is with Street Fighter 6. Of course, we'll be delving into the past as well. But each of you, every time we break someone on, everyone has their own different opinions and feelings towards the game and the community in general. So this platform is just an opportunity to express yourself in a constructive manner and, just get off your chest. Yeah. Let's start off by first introducing our panel for today. I'll go first. I am Shadow Ace. I am a player, commentator, podcast, rocket runner, TO, a man in many hats here in the local Atlanta, Georgia scene. Uh, and of course, with my partner, Sir Retro. Talk to the good people.
Hey y'all, how's it going? For those who do not know, and want to know, and already know, I am Sir Retro. I'm the other half of the I Got Next podcast series alongside with Shadow Ace. But also, I'm part of the, well, not if not the head of the Middle Georgia FGC. I'm known as the mayor of Macon, particularly for the Reboot, Retrocade Gaming, and the esports organization Spag Out Nerds. I'm pretty much head tournament guy in Middle Georgia for the most part, and definitely been involved with the scene for many years. I keep losing count every time, but definitely I'm excited to be part of the season 3 of this podcast series, which is crazy as far how long we have started. So, definitely shout out. Grateful for inviting me to be part of this awesome production, awesome editing, and everything else. Shout outs to you for definitely sparking something new to discuss about the Street Fighter series. Of course, we definitely can't forget, though, we're going to have a special guest today. So, can you tell us who do you have featured in this new episode.
Have you guys have
Oh, I'm
seen if you guys have seen Cowboy Bebop, you may have heard this phrase before, see you space cowboy. But this player right here, this guy, he agreed to join us on his Sunday, and we want to, of course, thank him for doing so. The one and only Space Boy. If you don't know who Space Boy is within the Street Fighter scene, you might be messing up. You've seen him compete in some tournament, some form or fashion out there. Space Boy, how you doing?
doing great, guys. Pretty happy to be here. Definitely excited to see what discussions you guys have cooked up. I have a lot to say about Street Fighter 6. Mostly positive.
Okay. Okay. And of course, if you missed out on the previous episode, you can always check it out on the Reboot Retrocade's gaming YouTube channel for that season 1, 2, and 3 playlist for all the full episodes there. And I also had the link pinned on my Twitter page at Mind of Shadow Ace as well for that. Last episode, it was me and Soul Retro holding it down for episode 3. But now we're taking a trip to not Memphis. Well, actually, we kind of are going to Memphis in a way because Space Boy does play some Luke. But we're
Yeah.
going to Jersey, man. We're going to New Jersey to talk to uh, For the Win's own Space Boy. First off, I want to say congratulations on your top 8 CPT World Warrior placement. You know what I'm saying? That was, I believe, hosted by OGN for the CPT
Hey,
with Carry Out Clash. It used to be known as Battle for the Bruce Lee, but it's under a new moniker now for the East Side. So, and then you had a local recently with Rival Fools hosted by Johnny Fraze and Miss Patricia. Who, like you've probably seen their art on the Twitterverse for Street Fighter. I think they had the opportunity to get official art from Capcom themselves. Be featured there, and I know Hizzle's from the Jersey area too as well. So once again, Spaceboy, congratulations on that. But I gotta know, man, who is I got so many questions. Like, who is Spaceboy? Like, what is For the Win? Like, what is that? How are you under that gaming sponsor?
Well, I joined that team because I think I might be one of the best players in New Jersey at this point. Maybe. I don't know if that's in terms of Street Fighter, at least I think that's all right for me to say, at least in New Jersey. Um, so we joined up together. He asked me to join. This was back when he was making the Espada controller, which was a good controller line. Discontinue now for the W. The goal for the W though, I think, is the W stands for what you want. For me, I want Johnny to be making controllers for the world because they're very accessible, very well designed, and very easy to modify based
Hmm.
on what you tell Johnny you want for the controller, you yourself what you want to do with it. So very good controller. He still has some ideas cooking up, but his slots are always full. He's always making at least 80 controllers in a month, so it's really tough to expand on new ideas. He's always working, but yeah, this is probably the only team I'll see myself sponsored with. I don't have too much of an interest being sponsored. I like being free agent, mostly a semi-free agent at this point. Well, 4W is the
Hmm.
only controller I want to use personally, so that's okay with. But in terms of me as a person, what's the best way to describe me as a person? I like burgers, anime, and I like biking a lot too. I like dancing as well. Anything that lets me be active.
Okay. Okay. And I remember I remember back in the Street Fighter 4 day. I remember the whole pizza fiasco you had with with
OG.
oh my goodness. How did that,
That
what
wasn't
was
in
that
Street Fighter
about?
4. That was in 5.
Yeah, that was in 5, and I'm like, I remember
pizza.
that yeah, he had a unique experience with the way he was eating pizza, and they just a little joke about that. But
Uh,
I think, what was it? Did you like fold it, or did you eat it backwards or something? What was the joke on that?
Crazy. Yeah. All that happened was it was clipping my fingernail. It was just a big pizza that clipped my fingernail, and Sean
okay.
made it look like that's how I eat pizzas.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I was wondering the story behind that, but yeah, I know you mostly from the Street Fighter Five era, competing in different online events. I even commentated a few of your matches in the various tournaments that where you were in. I remember the Spaceboy special being a thing, which is basically the brazen dash up EXDP, and it would
Has never
actually
worked.
hit. It hit before. That's why I was calling
Well,
it the Spaceboy special.
CPT, it's never hit.
Oh yeah, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
but the funny
you
thing is, anytime I tried in CPT, I'd win the set.
okay. So that's was like because people was like, yo, why would he do that in that situation? And it would work, you know. And I was like, okay, the dash of EXDP is kind of wild, but being an ed player, I can't make any complaints because we kind
Yeah.
of roll the dice too as well. So, but you ran Sakura and Akira, and you also played a little bit of Ed too. Actually, you play a few more characters, I think, outside of those three from five.
Steph and Rose. I was playing so many characters in five.
Okay, okay, yeah, those are the ones that I had remember you most using. Um, but with those characters as your choices, what made you gravitate towards those characters?
In Sakura, we were playing this incredibly slow game. I don't think people understand how like special and normal oriented Vanilla 5 was. In the sense that the walk speeds of the characters were pretty slow. I think Vega was the only one that was quick. So when Sakura came out, I was like, oh, finally, like a speedy character. That wasn't like Cammy or Vega or Chun, someone I could actually like. But she was terrible. In terms of like my character path, I think that's something you should preface before I talk about Sakura. I only bought Street Fighter 5 because I wanted to play Alex, of all things. Now I'm like so far from Alex. But originally I played Car, then I played McCall, dropped them for Alex of all characters. Terrible, terrible choice. Those characters are so. Then I dropped Alex for Akuma because his season two nerfs were so bad. They turned his. I remember doing math homework. This was back in high school. I'm about to finish college this December. That's how long Street Fighter Five was.
Mm,
So
mhm.
I was doing math homework, and it's like, what's the square root of no no what yeah, what's the square root of 11? There's
Hmm.
something like that. Oh, well, 121, like divided with the Pythagorean theorem, and I was like, that would be 11. And I actually got mad because it was like 11, 11. That's a number of Alex's crouch media kick that he got nerfed to. It's actually tight, even just doing math. So it's like,
Mm.
no, I have to
Huh.
drop this
Interesting.
character. Yeah, I have to drop this character. I can't be mad doing math work and then being mad playing the game.
That's
So
wild.
yeah, I'm not even joking. I was just like steamed. I was just like, I can't believe this is my life. But I dropped him for Akuma. Then I made the huge mistake of dropping Akuma for Ed. That's probably the worst like character choice I've ever made. It keeps getting worse though. Then I dropped Ed for Sakura. After all, and it ended up becoming really good at the end of the fight. And as for Akira and Seth, I just thought they were really, really cool and really fun. Seth was broken when I was learning him though. That's more why I played him. I think you could have made post nerf Seth work, but he had to be a little bit more of a character specialist, and that's not what I was looking to do. And
Mm.
at this point, Akira is just my favorite fighting game character to play. I think she's really fun, really cool combos. I'm hoping she makes it into another Street Fighter game. She originally wasn't supposed to be in five. It was supposed to end with Seth and Gil, so it sucks if she doesn't make it to six. But uh, I at least like Luke enough, another like power pick. And now he's personalizable enough that I can like actually enjoy character. I think he's pretty cool. The voice actor Alex Lee gave a great performance. Really funny, really goofy protagonist. So
Mhm.
now I can see myself playing Luke. Though I will say he's not like a peak Spaceboy here.
Mm.
Definitely fun.
Okay, and I can see the transition from because you like when you start from Luke from Street Fighter Five, and it was just natural. Okay, well here's Street Fighter Six Luke. Like
Yeah.
how do you compare the two versions of the characters? I mean, they're more or less the same, right? Like
Yeah.
the way they play. It's just different meter mechanics.
He's reworked, so it's like the only real nerf I will say is his crouch meter punch. But ironically, like I can't even say that a nerf because when you pair it with drive rush, and so the hitbox it has really good hitbox. It's a joint hit actually, so he can place it in front of him and he won't trade with things. It'll probably, but he's really reworked. They just nerfed his ability to get the charges. So back in five, you could do stand fears into meaty punch and knuckle, and that just worked at any point in the screen. In order to do that now, you need to get drive rush plus punish counter. So the conditions are pretty big,
Okay.
but it's just like that doesn't matter because he has so many realistic ways to get into those cancels.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, more or less, it was just having to readjust some combos, but the core of the character was pretty much the same. See, that was the one of the concerns I would have, like for Ed, since Ed is upcoming, during the winter season. He comes out in winter, so I was like, well, how much are they going to change Ed from five? And I'm like, well, let's take a look at the five characters that we had so far and how they're looking in their sixth generation. So I was looking at Luke and Rashid. So I was kind of making that comparison where, okay, well, they keep the core of the character, but they just like readjusted a few things and maybe added in some new tools. So I was like, okay, well, that's pretty much how they're going to do with Ed, right? They'll keep some of his core things and then probably give him something new. So that's probably like one of my most anticipated characters, just so I can see how they're going to do the design. Like even Akuma too, as well. Like how much are they going to change Akuma from his five version to now, in six? So everybody's fearing the one button demon, modern remote demon, and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, there's probably going to be something else that people are going to have to look out for. So yeah, it's just basically just an interesting design concept, like just comparing the characters and their versions. Um, Another question here before we dive into the characters, the upcoming characters, here before we get there. You were like just this past Evo, Evo's a few weeks ago. You were in one of the marquee commercials for that. How did you get selected for something like that?
Uh, I actually haven't seen the commercial yet. Funny enough, my friend told me about it, and I just wasn't watching while I played. So it's funny,
Hmm.
but I haven't seen it.
Okay.
But I actually won their trip to Evo last year. That's why I went last year. This year, I did not go. Unfortunately, I am saving my money. I'm trying to move forward in my life, try to gain a little more independence. But last year, I won their event, and they even did a follow-up interview since I got 65th, which is a pretty good placement. So I got selected for that because I won a really big tournament, basically. I unfortunately did not win the Chipotle Trip to Evo this year. Tonkin Do won that. So the guy who got
Hmm.
third at Evo and the guy who got ninth at Evo won. So I can't come. But I wish I could have went this year. It's very likely that
Okay.
I will go next year since I got a job and I'm not just making money from competing anymore. So it's very likely you'll see me at Evo 2024.
Okay.
But yeah, that's how I got selected to won the event.
Okay. So you'll be looking to travel a bit more in the next year now that your situation's changed.
Eh, I don't know about more. Maybe just like I'll definitely still
Okay.
do the tri-state area stuff. I could see like I had to do something like combo breaker or CEO. Evo is probably locked in. If not Evo, I could see myself doing like both combo breaker and CEO, something to that effect. Basically, whatever's going on in the tri-state area that's a regional, I'll be there. So ECT, I registered for. Um, DTN, I was there, got third this year. What other events are going on? Of course, all the locals and monthlies. I always try to pull up. So where there's action in the East Coast tri-state area, I will find a way to get there. But in general, I don't mind not going to the bigger events. It's just expensive is all.
Okay, so something like this, like just really just close to your area, that's a little bit more convenient. You'll be at those events, so like something that's maybe like a state over or so, you could see yourself going to that.
Mhm.
Um, okay, okay, all right, all right, cool, cool, cool. You got some plans in the works for that. That's always a great thing to, increase your situation and you're able to do things that you're able to enjoy uh for that. So we were talking about the characters a bit earlier. You mentioned you was playing Ed and how do you what do you think Ed is gonna be like in the when he comes out?
So the interesting thing is this version of Rashid is good. It's very obvious to say that besides vanilla Street Fighter V Rashid, I think the Street Fighter V Rashid is definitely stronger. That goes without
Mm,
saying.
mm,
So it's just because Vanilla Rashid, well, not Vanilla Rashid, Street Fighter V Rashid post season two, he had a really good ability to play at any pace. He could play slow, he could play quick, he could do a lot. The Ins Rashid, he can only play quick, but he's really good at playing quick. Is the thing. Be you have to know what you're stopping against Street Fighter 6 Rashid. So he's definitely not.
Hmm.
But once he gets non, it's a character with actually pretty solid neutral. Really
mm,
good hitboxes on his stand. Even his stand B kick is a pretty good poke. Same for his stand. But he has the jumping issue. So
mm.
if you're good with the hard punch tornado, you'll anti-air every time. But even that's weaker compared to Street Fighter 5. So the Rashids, when they're ready to hard punch tornado me, then I just don't hit them. Simple as that. They hit me. But it's just definitely way tougher for them now. So he's really good, and I'll still lose to Rashid players in ranked.
Okay.
And even I lost to Dual Kevin 5-3 in an invitational tournament we played. He played Rashid, he was playing really. So basically, they want him to be really good at Rush 10 now. He only has one strong suit. For Ed, Ed couldn't really slow things down. Actually, no, he slowed things down to a screeching halt in 5. That was actually completely wrong.
Mhm.
Because Flick,
Hmm. Oh yeah, yeah.
if he tried, oh, what were you saying?
No, yes, I was green.
Yeah. So if you try to move at him incorrectly and he did flicker, then, well, you're just getting hit and nothing's going on. And then he had the flicker. So he's definitely the character where if he's good, I'm just definitely going to play him because I liked him in 5. I just dropped him because he kept getting nerfed. I just didn't stick with him in the end.
Mm.
So it could be really interesting for him. He could be trash. Like, you could definitely, he was garbage when he came out. He was one of the worst characters.
Oh,
Like, it's
absolutely.
interesting. Yeah, he was so bad. Really, really just an atrocious
Yeah.
character. So he could be really trash in this game, but he could be broken again in Street Fighter 5 because I easily think Walker was saying he was top. I don't remember if he was saying top 3, but he was definitely at least saying top 5. When I was fighting against Ed, I thought he was at least top 8, but the only really high level Ed in the East Coast, I think, was X Finesse,
Yeah,
and he was
finesse
kind
was
of
was was the yeah. He was the only one that was really carrying the character to that level and able to consistently contest with the stronger players there for sure. So I mean, I'm
yeah.
hoping that in this iteration, I mean, this basically his design. I keep seeing like some rumors and stuff on how he is actually going to play. I saw something about him having clones, like he gets some kind of psycho clones now, like Ganagin or something. I'm
Whoa,
like,
really?
yeah, I'm like, okay, psycho clones.
If he has that, he better not have V-Trigger work. So Rashid has Tornado. Rashid has Tornado. It's
Yeah.
like if they give Rashid Tornado, it actually lowers the chance of I think it lowers the chance of Ed having V-Trigger one because that's no longer unique to Rashid. There's just gonna be another character with essentially what he has. So I think they might give him a really strong version of V-Trigger 2. I'd rather see that than
I can see that.
the Psycho Ball man. The crazy thing is, I always complain, oh man, this V-Trigger one's so weak. But I was playing Ed, and then he became so strong. It became one of the best V-Triggers in the game.
Yeah, they just added 2 hits to it. It went from
All
five
that
to
in needed,
seven.
2 hits.
Yeah, from 5 to 7, and once it got to that 7, I was like, oh, okay, now I can get an extra move in with the extended hit. Like you get a
Yeah.
knockdown, you get a
Terrible
knockdown off of a
mistake.
5 or 4, and then you get 3 more additional hits. Yeah, okay, we'll
That
take
was a
that.
mistake.
Calcal didn't know what was doing. Nah, they knew what they were doing.
No,
But I'm yeah,
as a G
I'm
player,
glad.
that's a mistake.
Oh, as a G player. Oh, see, you're a G player, so you know address what happened, what's going
I
on.
really wonder why more top players didn't play that version of Ed.
Hmm.
That's really what I was wondering because I think like even for Japan, the only Ed player that I know was like really really good was a guy named Knight. I don't want to say a guy named Knight because he's actually good. It's just tougher for Japan as a region because they don't have this many or monthlies. But when he pulled up to Evo, I think he was in top 60. I think he finished either 32nd or 45th. He beat Sean. So definitely a really good player. But I just don't understand why more people didn't play him.
I mean, he
Pop,
was he was
yeah, they probably
ridiculous.
overlooked the
It,
fact
it,
that. Oh, go ahead.
no, no, go ahead. You were saying something.
No, I'm saying they probably overlooked the fact that like how terrible he was initially, and it wasn't until
Yeah.
wasn't until way later. Like I said, and that's not only for him, but I was thinking like for many other characters. But yeah, I know like for him, I remember there many discussions about it, and it wasn't until like the very end. They're like, "Dang, Ed's kind of good right now, I think." And they're like, "No, he's
Yeah,
solid.
Andy
Like he's a
Walker carrying it up,
yeah."
X and all the online locals. That was a fun story arc.
Mm-hmm.
It took forever for me to get to to just get a win on him. I think I got like one against him online, and then I beat
Mm-hmm.
him at Idom's charity tournament,
Mm.
and then that was it. Like the rest of this game life cycle, I just lost. It wasn't bad. I just did not have. I was playing too many characters. I should have just played Luke. I was always playing Akira against that. I don't know why I like that matchup so much. I think I just like stand hard punch and stand hard kick against Flicker. But yeah, he's a really good player. He just doesn't like this game, which is understandable.
Yeah, and that makes me that yeah, we'll definitely need to touch up on that a bit later on. So yeah, I'm gonna add that to the docket. So in regards to still keeping on topic with the newer character, like design wise, um we had the recent gameplay reveal of Aki. Right, we saw some Aki. We finally get to put the speculation to rest on how the character would play. Like, what is she gonna do? What is she? Yeah, how does she play? So we finally got to see
It's Fang
what she
Jr.
would be like. Fang Jr.
I think so. They
Uh,
showed I mean, it's Shades of
does she
Fang,
have
of
two hit
course.
normals?
I didn't
Does
see
she
two hit
have?
normals, but she
I didn't
has
see
like
no two
his
hit normals.
she has the mobile moves that he had. Also, if you look at like a character like Fang, he's gonna get bodied by something like Thrive, Impact, if they just put him in the game. Because think about it, like he had pretty good cancelable specials, so he could do stuff like Stand Fierce or Crouch Medium Punch. But it's just like if he does up balls, he gets beat by that. If does smoke, he gets beat by that. If you see Cower Crouch and the hit comes, you could just drive Impact in probably. But this is all speculation for a character that's not in the game. But
Yeah,
as for Aki, what I noticed was she has very long range. She has Coward Crouch, or I guess Coward Slide.
the
So
snake. I think that's gonna be a big component in her neutral with that
yeah,
move because yeah, she gets different options from that stance. Like
mm,
she gets the command grab, she gets the strike, and I think it was another move too. I forgot that slides. She slides under or something. Like you could choose those. You could like she gets multiple options from that slither thing, and I was like, okay, well, what is the EX version of that move going to look? Yeah. Oh no, they showed the EX version because in the trailer because JP tried to do the spiral. I mean the little spear crystal thing and she just like went right through it. So I was like, okay, I'm thinking projectile invincible then with the EX version, because they did
It's like
the
she's definitely and she's good. Like if you make a weird character like that good, it's just an instant meta shake up. I'm hoping I like her because I think that's my anti those characters stuff I have trouble with like people on a given day. It's like I know what's going on, but I'm hoping it's just like I can play a character that will just like consistently get the results that I want. That's JP, but I don't like JP. So
yeah,
I hope she's good and I like her. Her design's cool at least.
okay. Okay, yeah, yeah. I mean, we're only a few weeks away from her being officially, revealed. I mean, from the release date so far, and from her trailer, they always, every time a trailer comes out, they highlight the best attributes of the character, for sure, and like just show the entire move set as well. So I could definitely see, people like Mono doing really well with that character, Vega Patch. And just basically they it seems like she definitely has the essence of Fong in there with her, like with just a mixture of like just new elements in the game. So that's what I'm thinking, like going forward, like when they do like season 2 and they show a returning character, like that character will have its old move set, but they'll just like tweak it a bit and probably add something new to the character, but overall it'll still be the same. And I mean, that's kind of how like you take a look at Akuma, like okay, you could kind of see what his move set would be from 5 to 6, but they could completely go in a different direction, for sure. Still
Oh,
trying to
it's
wonder
sad.
why he's like the last character. I don't know why he's the last character, but
USC
yeah.
made, man. I'm gonna be upset. Oh my god, they might do the reverse of Street Fighter Five. Every single Street Fighter Five season opened up with a showdown, right?
Mm,
But they could do it the opposite way now. Every single season ends with a showdown now. It would be so
yeah,
mad if that happens.
Huh.
yeah. I mean, we have four characters, I guess, for
Except
four
season
seasons.
one. That's season one. Season two, Akuma. Season three, Sakura. Season four, Street Fighter Five. Kage.
Oh
Then
yeah.
season five, Dan, ended with Luke.
Huh. Did not notice that. Wow. Hmm.
Makes you wonder. It makes you wonder how
Dang.
they. It's like it's a toss up, but anybody can guess what season 2 is going to be like because they reduced the number of characters from 6 to 4 now. So it's like okay,
Yeah.
it's going to be a
Yeah.
seasonal type thing for the releases, and that's fair. I mean, gives more time for the characters to get fleshed out a bit. We're not getting any like major balance patches until what the year after, well, after Akuma comes out. Then that's when they said they're gonna do like the major balance change
Hmm.
for the game. So as it stands right now, this is what we're getting uh, for that. But looking into it from there, so yeah, what did you have any thoughts on what Aki gameplay is, retro? Before we move on.
Yeah, I watched the trailer a few times. Like I said, I pretty much kind of like I pretty much have the same speculation as you. I mean, the thing is, obviously, and of course, even lore wise, she literally favors and kind of like admires truly after Fong himself. So it's a lot of inspiration. I think she gonna have a lot more fun movement options too. Personally, I think that would be an idea. I was wondering how the combo system and like the drive rush will work too. I mean, can we see a little bit of it towards the end? It'll be really. I think like it'll be really interesting because it kind of may be an idea of what how Fong himself would have functioned if he had the Street Fighter 6 mechanics, and that's pretty much Zaki. That's how I looked at it in that perspective. Yeah, because I said there was like a few like moves that similar to Fong, but the movement that she has, how evasive, and then of course the poison. Because I know you guys probably talked about it a little bit. Have step out for a second, but the idea that people wanted to see that the poison was going to take away the drive, or she drains health with the poison situation,
Or I think
whatever.
it's too much.
Yeah, personally, yeah, because
It's gonna
personally,
totally block if they do that.
right, like the person, I think if it did, like even with the drive, I think that would probably made her maybe a little too strong, because the thing is that constant burning out, she's also like the way her movement is like she maybe like how Fang was basically like an evasive character. So literally, a lot of people can just like poison somebody, runs away, or and then trap them, poison them some more, chip them to death because their drive is like constantly drained out. So in the long run, that could be that could be make it seem like she maybe is too strong, maybe. But like you said, we don't know what other tools that she might have that could like help function, especially with the mechanics and whatnot. But so far, I think she's gonna be really interesting. She thinks she might actually solve problems for people who wants to like to move around and get away, and then like kind of go in and so forth. You know, because you don't see too many characters that have like, well, we have a few characters like Kimberly and trying to think who else have like really good movement that can go in and out. But there's way they can low profile, fly over, cancel out of this, and like literally, I mean, literally a snake. So I'm very, very intrigued. Like I'll actually maybe not pick her up seriously, but I'll lab with her, see what all she'll have.
Yeah, I think that's kind of one of the best ways to go about it. Like when the new characters come out, just even if people don't main her, like just
Mm-hmm.
try her out, so that way when you fight against her, you kind of get an idea of what you'd look for like in the matchup, and that's how I do it. Every time a character comes out, like I'll just go in the lab and like do training mode and just see what they can do and stuff, and maybe try them out for a few matches. Oh, okay, this is what this can do in a situation. Now, if I fight the character, I kind of know how I know what to look out for and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see, man. We just got a few more weeks until she comes out, and then I definitely want to see what players can do with that character. But for the most part, they're doing a really good job of fleshing them out, advertising them, and doing all the promotions and stuff. Promotions for this game has been on fire, for sure. So we'll see what happens. But we're gonna go ahead and move on to another topic here, which is actually kind of like breaking news that we had. Me, Spaceboy, Retro. We saw it this morning. I'm sure a lot of people saw it. People at the venue probably seen it too as well. The announcement that this would be the final Summer Jam NEC or possibly NEC, hosted by Big E and his staff. What are you guys thoughts about that?
Yeah, it's
Um,
very unfortunate. I think he ran his events here and they have problems like any other event. It's just you don't want to see any tournament series come to really.
mm,
But if that's what they feel is best, and that's what they feel is best, I'd really like to see if there could be some way there could be more in the future. But it is what it is ultimately.
mm. Yeah, that I remember. Like just as long as the event's been running, like for as far as Big E, I remember when they used to host the Fall Classic that was in North Carolina with Shin Blanca and Li Joe. They did that series, but that was like a really long time ago. I'm thinking that's like '09, '10ish, 11, like around really early era. I know Vanilla Marvel was out around that time. Marvel 3 was out that time. So yeah, they've been doing this for a long time, man. But it's kind of the first time I've ever seen an announcement be made during the event saying that okay, yeah, this is it. This will be the last one, probably. And so I'm thinking, something may have happened during the event to have triggered that. But again, that's just speculation. But I just hope all is well in regards to Big E and any situation that he'll be able to overcome that. But to lose like that particular series, like that's a historic like that's a historic landmark, for people in the Jersey area, right? Up there. Is that in Jersey?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Okay, okay.
Yeah, Cherry Hill. Cherry Hill's
Yeah, Cherry
honorary.
Hill. Yeah.
It's honorary Philly. I'd like to say Cherry Hill is basically like Philly.
Okay. Okay.
The way that
Yeah.
like Buffalo, like some parts of Buffalo, you're just like touching Canada. That's your neighbor.
So it's just literally just like right there on that line.
Yeah,
Then
right there on the
okay,
line.
okay, okay. Yeah, I just remember those events. Yeah, that event has a long-standing history. Um, what was it? Yeah, we were talking beforehand. For the podcast, you had mentioned like Texas Showdown when they did their announcement saying that it would be the last one for them, or was it
Yeah,
the
it's a showdown. Their
yeah?
situation was it because when registration was opening, they're pretty candid and they're just like, "Hey, this is probably gonna be the last one." They said this is
Mm.
definitely the last one. Texas Showdown, I think, is back though.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what,
they were
that's what I
able
say. They
to.
did. They made that. I think they made that announcement, and then the following
Yeah, they
year or
rallied from
something.
behind. They were able to run it again.
Yeah, that was that was awesome. Maybe that's the case because he's looking at his tweet. It did say probably, yeah, probably going to be the last one. And then he
It was
commented
the
personally, but I think once the details get a little bit more fleshed out, more information can become available. Yeah, just to make it just I think it was just odd that that announcement was made during the event. Um, but yeah, retro. What you think about that?
That was quite a shocker. That threw me off. Like that was something I did not expect to wake up to this morning, and I was like, because like, well, I think so last night he was like, yeah, thank you guys for everything and so forth, whatever. I appreciate you guys, and I was like, all right, cool, I'm glad, thinking that everything going well, having a good time. Usually most TOs, people who run the events, will say that. And then this morning, he said it again, and I was like, okay, cool, cool. And then it said, this might be the last one. And I was like, oh
holy
boy.
crap.
Yeah. And I'm like, and I didn't really read to the responses of everybody, but the only thing I saw that, people were wondering about NEC. And of course, they said, well, we'll see what happens with that. Because I'm not sure they already had NEC confirmed for the for the usual year time of the year, but
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they.
yeah, I mean, according to them, they're looking at it like, hey, NEC may it may not happen, but
Mm.
yeah, because like yeah, I was looking at the tweet. I may have misread it, but that's kind of like what they're kind of speculating. So it may should be on the already set, but it could potentially get canceled too. Because like the fact he said that's his last event, he didn't say the last summer jam. So that's the thing that kind of like wondering.
Yeah, it's your last event. The
So
wording's really important.
yeah. So but the thing about it, like it, unfortunately, it brought into mind to what happened to. Of course, that makes sense of like why that happened, but for final round, but of course, it happened in a way where the pandemic, started, and that kind of really affected a lot of things with financials and hotel and refunds and other policies probably that contribute to it. But as far as what happened to what's going on behind this one, it really, I said we don't know, and it's really kind of like, yeah,
Mm.
it is out of the blue for sure, and it kind of get me a little worried. Like you said before, Spaceboy, like Texas Showdown, kind of went down at one point, but it's back. But then over the years, was it KIT Kumite in Tennessee? That's done as of last year, and like so you seen kind of like more of these. But then it's not only just it's grassroots and esports. Like it's all these big major events are slowly kind of like shutting down bit by bit. You know, so it's like these regional majors are kind of like slowing down. I mean, of course, you still have Frosty Faustings, you still have Do we have April annihilation this year?
Mm-mm, that's Big E, bro.
That's
Oh,
that's a that's the big event. I don't think they had April Annihilation this year.
oh, okay, okay,
No,
okay. Huh. So yeah, that's the other thing too. Yeah, okay. So that's part of yeah. Yeah. That's so that didn't happen. Um, you know, I'm trying to think like everything that's not like at the well, of course, the same level like CEO and Evo, and that's still around. That I don't think not sure they'll be going anywhere, but like but like I said, all these like majors, and so the major regionals rather, is just like slowly shutting down. But like I said, there's many factors at hand. Could be finances, it could be health, could be personal decisions. But and of course there was a situation with a bracket with one of the tournaments. But I wouldn't think it would be too much of an impact towards like the decision to shut things down. But I don't know. It feels weird. We're at this weird. It's like a new era. It's like this era that now like
it's
that
the
where we.
online era, bro.
I mean, you could be right about that. I wouldn't argue against it. Like I said, we're now because like I said, we're in the situation. The online experience is starting to get a little bit better, and that's where people more contribute to. Could you see like online tournaments like TNS? Been doing online
Every
tournaments.
day, like 400 plus, 400.
Yeah,
It's a regional every week.
hundreds of people. Yeah, and it's ridiculous. I mean, yeah, granted, that's fine because you want to have a good game that has good online net code and crossplay and all
Yeah,
that.
but something like that, I don't think that's ever happened for any game ever before, which is a very good
No,
sign for Street Fighter 6.
I honestly, I mean, you might see 100, maybe 150, whatever in the past, but to go,
And for like a big promoted event, but not every single week like this. It's unprecedented.
no,
Yeah, I've never seen it in this condition either. I mean, tapping into sleeps, they're literally laying the foundation for other events, and they saying you see other events coming up and stuff, and there's always a tournament every day, almost about every day,
yeah,
almost every day you turn around, you can
No,
go
every
on.
single day there's at least two events.
Yeah, you can go on Matcherino or Smash that excuse me, Start.gg and search for Street Fighter 6 event, and I guarantee every single day you're going to see a tournament somebody's hosting somewhere. So that's really really great sign. And if the game doesn't work out for them, they can always venture off into other games. Where right now we're sitting in a really good fighting game renaissance, with multiple games that are coming out, and it's probably a lot. There's probably a lot to learn and having to deal with. We got Mortal Kombat 1 that's there now. We got Tekken 8 on the horizon. There's
oh, Grand
there's a
Blue
Market of
Rising,
Wolves. Yeah, they got Grand Blue Rising. There's a new Market of Wolves coming out. Sam Show maybe coming
Project
back
L,
from her, Project L. So there's a lot of different games on there, and online is definitely going to play into a major component of the game's scene being healthy. If the online is not as great, then the numbers are going to get hit. So we are in this. I mean, we're still in the COVID pandemic era, even
right?
though we want to just be in person and talk with everybody and play in person and fellowship and stuff. But people have to be in mind that is we're still in that era
Oh
here,
yeah.
and there's a lot of anxiety about people going to an events and being around people and stuff. So that's just something to take into account where
And
companies are
inflation.
now yeah, the pick up companies now are starting to pay more attention to like, all right, we got to make sure the online is, this. Now you're starting to see more open communication with developers for
Right.
the fighting games and stuff, and like, we're gonna address this bug, we're gonna fix this. There's a
Mm-hmm.
patch coming out. Like, companies gathering, they're making sure that communication is there to keep that player base engaged. So,
Mm-hmm.
that's just something to take in mind as far as like where we're going. And unfortunately, those offline events, they're still going to be there. They're still going to be like the CEO and the Evos and stuff like that. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, you're going to see like the maybe the smaller events kind of stepping back a little bit, and be like, okay, now is this financially feasible for us to keep going and keep hosting these events? Whereas more players are starting to get more comfortable competing
Mm-hmm.
from the home, you know.
Yeah,
So
'cause I think
that's just a thought. Go ahead.
no, no, you're right. Yeah, yeah, you can finish that.
No, I was done. I was done. You got it.
Yeah, because actually, because I said there was a tweet literally. I think one of the players was talking about it about discussing about offline versus online events nowadays. Is that people can, like I said, there's so many tournaments right now for many of the viewers. Is it well also like yeah for players and viewers because like I said for players the cost of traveling there to compete there, register here and there, even with sponsor and so forth, it's a chore in of itself. And now like here online events that is like, hey, all you do is sit comfortably at your house, you be in pajamas, you don't have to pay anything for a hotel, you don't have to pay for travel by flight or train or whatever. Boom, you online, hey, you can qualify for the finals. Boom, there you go. You don't have to do much effort as far as monetary wise or anything
Mm.
physically to travel there. So no, that's the thing. And then I'm just basically like kind of like maybe expanding a bit about the situation that led to with Big E and whatnot. But like I said, Big E may have a different reason of why they're shutting down. But it does bring up the fact that we're in this era, like you said, with the online situation. If people not going to come out as many times as they want to for majors and regionals, and even actually, I'm not sure y'all saw, but Jabali said when we go back to Orlando and we start to up the price a bit, we guys would be willing to come and support it. And most people were like, yeah, yeah, we'll definitely go back to Orlando, go back to whatever and so forth, and pay a little bit.
Mhm.
And I think probably like $10, $15. He did say that it may go up, but at the same time, they had some people that was like, should I really spend that much money and so forth, And the thing is, like, is that the only thing about it offline, is that impersonal experience that you don't, that you kind of miss out on, that socializing and so forth. So that's
Mhm.
like, and that type of networking is different from offline versus online. But like I said, at the same time, actually at the end of this recent CEO, Reversal GG did a video about what Jeremy does after CEO is over. Of him have to pay for the hotel still, make sure all the resources are taken back to the vendors and all that type of other stuff. So a lot of the work and cost to really operate something at that level. You have to imagine the same case for Big E and also for like Larry did final round series and other majors and so forth. And like I said, that cost and that effect could play a role in like decisions of whether they should keep going or not too. So that's
Mhm.
something you should also consider as far as the factors of why the majors and regionals are not don't operate the same as they used to, or they don't operate anymore. So, like I said, it's a lot of factors. I mean, the biggest one a lot of people would say like is money. You can definitely argue with that. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's
for sure. For sure. I mean, on the surface, as players and spectators, and you don't really see what goes on behind the scenes in regards to the decision making for teams at events. Teams, they have discussions about how to move forward or proceed forward. Is it in the budget to do this, this, this? So there's a lot of discussion that's going on. Whereas careful planning has to occur, especially nowadays, where again we are in this fighting game renaissance bloom, and developers are trying to make sure that their net code is up to par with competing online. So I mean, look at CPT, how they changed the format. The format is now majority of their qualifiers are online. They're not at venues, or you don't have to go to this major to compete for Capcom Cup anymore. You could just be you could be in the comfort, compete in a few qualifiers, get enough points, make the finals,
Be in
win
your
the
underwear and you could make Capcom Cup.
I'm sorry.
You could be in your underwear, literally, and still make Capcom Cup.
Exactly.
Versus the
Exactly.
pressure that was
yeah,
there from
not
Final
wrong.
Fantasy.
Yeah, it's
But
a different
I think
atmosphere.
I think at this point, when the economy starts recovering a little more, there needs to be a push for hybrid qualification.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
online is like completely secure. Things are only gonna get better for online. What has to happen for online to get worse is players stop competing and TOs stop running events. I think it may be good for a maybe a consolidated effort between TOs to run events because I've been doing a journalizing like events that happened in the community and promoting them as just for my calendar, which isn't even completely this Sunday, the 10th, there's gonna be 5 completely different online events for Street Fighter. That's not even.
That's
You can play in
insane.
all 5 of them. If you're in America, you can play in all 5 of them. So it's just like there's so many events to choose, and
There's four
offline
today.
isn't so apparent. Hmm?
Mhm.
Yeah, there's 4 today. La Catarella, on Team Gaming, Owlperp, and HDGG Weekly.
Oh,
So there's 4 today. Every Sunday there's at least 4 events.
yeah.
Wow.
The least events is Wednesdays, which is only 2 events, and then Saturday. Saturday is still pretty vacant. I know Zcatch is trying to run his bi-weekly every Saturday, and Bum will try to run offline local in New York. So Saturday is the day where, like, I think if any aspiring TO wants to run an event, that's the one they should pick. Because I always have like players will ask me for events, people really hungry, like Knuckle Do, Young Man T. Every now and then they'll DM me, hey, anything going on today? And just Saturday is the one day where I have to say sorry. There's really no events. So, but other than that, if there's more offline events, that's good. But it's so much harder to run an offline tournament than an online tournament because
Mm-hmm.
if the three of us want to, we can run an online event for Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And so long as those players are willing to play in that event, then yeah, cool. We have now a local there. We could run it for Australia. Provided that we don't play in that event, the event will be fine if we just PO it for them. But for the three of us to say, hey, let's run an event in Australia, how are we gonna go to Australia? We have to rent out a building. We have to figure out where everyone lives. We have to figure out how well the Australian scene is going to embrace that showing up and stuff. There's so many more questions that you have to ask yourself if you're going to run an offline event. And
Mm-hmm.
even if you ask those questions, the event could still go poorly and leave a bad taste in the player's mouth. So if you have a bad offline tournament, you know how players are. They'll speak and they'll tell other players, like, nah, don't go to that event. It was trash. So and so, such and such. Well, I want players to say when an event's good. They need to hype up good events. They say, like, oh, I really love this event. I think that needs to change. But well, if something goes wrong for an offline event, chances are people will come back. If you have a bad experience on an online tournament, that is just so much less, even if it's laggy. Because even if it's laggy, that's just player to player. You can't say it's the event's fault. So I'm not going to say that it's easy to run an online event, but from what I've seen, from what goes wrong in an offline event, it will just catapult and like snowball in a way where it can be such a bad experience for player and TO alike that people just won't come out for it again. But if you run a bad online event, you're always just one rebranding away from regaining the trust of the community, I would say.
Yeah, less cost out of pocket too as well. For
It's free.
sure. Yeah, it's
Think
free.
about it. You can run an online event for free if you think about it, because it's just like, okay, well, I already paid for my computer. I have a microphone, and Start GG and Challenge are free of charge, and I already have the game. So if you don't want to pay commentators, then you just ran yourself a free event that could get you ad time. So
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
Trios, well, my favorite FGC running joke, one of my favorites is the Salt Mine League yacht, because
The
people
Salt
think
Mine
TOs
League
are
yacht.
rich. Yeah, like the Salt Mine League guys, they own a yacht. It's such a good joke because
People think TOs are balling and they're just making money from events, but that couldn't be more further from the truth.
Steak and champagne every day. What do you mean? They're
Hey,
rich.
popping
They're,
balls. Let's go,
they're balling.
man. I can't wait
Balling.
to after this
And
podcast. I can't wait
it's
to get back
just,
to my Tulsa.
you know what I'm saying?
My
Hop in the
Tulsa.
Hellcat and just go to real quick. Just on that quick afternoon drive.
I
But
know,
yeah,
right?
it's just a lot. As
Hmm.
far as now we're in that era of competing versus online events. Like you said, we saying that it's cheaper to this to to do this, and you're also thinking about when you're trying to stream as well. Like you looking at the numbers for an online event versus an offline event that happen on the same it's happen at the same time. There are multiple tournaments that are going on
It's
for
chaotic.
Street Fighter Six. Yeah, the viewership for Street Fighter Six is amazing. I mean, it's constantly over 6,000 viewers on Twitch. So you got people's attention divided amongst all these different scenes and communities, and you get to this. You'll see an offline tournament that may have like 8 viewers versus this online event that has 400 viewers, right? And it's like, oh well, they're bringing in quadruple the amount versus this offline event because I guess people either don't know about it or there's not that star player or top player that enter it. So it's like they just brush it off to the side. Well, I'd rather watch a tournament that has the highest amount of highest level of competition versus
That's the
this
crazy thing
offline
now.
event.
If your tournament isn't like so, I really love like the DR crew because like you'll just see Kaba because they moved. They moved to I don't know where they live, but they moved to America. So you'll just see
Mm,
Kaba, and I got to see him at uh what was it Heatwave, and I lost him too
mm,
2-1. So, but he'll pull off for stuff like that. Mena too. Mena and Kaba they went to DTN, so they'll make like regionals like that really exciting. But at this point, I think TNS is probably the hardest tournament you could win that happens in a given week. TNS, ICFC, those events like that, and they've completely surpassed even a tournament series like NLBC. NLBC is unfortunate because players like Shine, Punk, they moved away from there. IDOM's still holding it down. But like the NLBC
mm,
Guardians, they all moved or dispersed. I don't know. I don't see Kami pull up to there. I think he's in Paris right now, but I forget where he's at. But
mm,
the locals that were known for being super tough as nails, you'll just get 0-2 wash. You have these killers entering the bracket. They're not going to the locals anymore. Either they are retired
mm,
or they're just playing online. So even in terms of practice, it's probably your best shot is to play online now because likelihood of you even qualifying for Capcom Cup, there is an online tournament, offline tournament for you to qualify for Capcom Cup. The offline tournament for you to get there, you're looking at a $2,000 trip minimum in some cases for some players.
Right.
For me to go to Paris, yeah, I'm already looking at a $600 ticket for a hotel. I was actually thinking about Paris major, but I can't do it this year. Maybe next year.
mm,
That would be awesome though. But that trip, I'm looking at 1.4K. But World Warrior, I
mm.
played it. I got fourth. That was free 99. The only thing I paid for was I just bought like a sandwich, and then I could just cook. I was just lazy that day. That's it. So in every shape or form, playing online is actually your best shot to Captain Cup. I'm going to load the day if they ever decide, hey, why don't we do a Capcom Cup but just online? I think that's going to be the worst case scenario because I did not get to stay for a Capcom Cup. I had to leave because I was in a school semester. I would have skipped days if I qualified at LCQ. I got 25th of 256, which was a pretty good result. Lost to Jen. So the guy who got second at Capcom Cup and won LCQ, I can't complain this again.
Hmm.
I wanted to be the Brothers Cup. But even then, the energy that you have seeing like a really strong and talented player triumph over everybody else,
and them getting their win, and just the energy and emotion. It's unparalleled. It's unmatched. Like I think if I was at the Evo this year and I saw Angry Bird win, I think I would have like teared up a little. I even saw Yipes, and I believe it was James Chen. Like they were tearing up while commentating. And it's just such raw energy and such emotion, and it's something like his win is something I'll never forget. And I know like if Evo was right in my backyard, I of course would have been there. But I just don't like I don't dislike Vegas, but I dislike Vegas in the same way that I dislike New York. Where it's like you're gonna have the time of your life here, so long as you keep your wallet open the entire way through. But
Mm.
I just want more offline events. I just want things to be cheaper too. It's just such a tough situation for everyone involved.
That is true. There's a lot of
Mm,
variables,
yeah.
a lot of variables involved. Yeah, I mean, ideally we want you know, the good fair amount of, hey, this event. I mean, this will be cheaper to go to if I went to this event versus, hey, free 99. I wake up from my nap. I can log in into my game, whichever console I'm using. I win this tournament, then I can go back to finish taking my nap or doing what I was doing, and end up qualifying for a tournament final or something, like a final top eight or something, and a event to win even more money. So, the cost to financial literacy and budgeting when traveling to majors and trying to figure out what's what, because you definitely need to
Hmm.
have a budget for that if you decide to go that venture. And again, the offline experience is great. It's a great experience, but
Oh, that's
you know,
incredible.
yeah, it's nothing beats the raw emotion and feeling of playing someone live, and just the crowd reaction, the energy. You can see the commentary, the production, all of that is good times. But where I feel like it's gravitating towards less and less, where we're starting to see more presence online. When you talk to people and you ask them if they're going to this event, nah, man, I'm good. There's this online event
Yeah.
today. This online event
Even
today,
even me, like
200 pop
I'm becoming like
bonus.
that.
No, I'm
I'm
sorry. Go
becoming
ahead. What
like
was you
that.
saying?
I should have been at Summer Jam. If this was Street Fighter Five, I would have pulled off the Summer Jam. But this year, I'm just like, well,
Uh,
maybe
uh,
not this time. Maybe next year.
I mean, they did have Street Fighter Five at Summer Jam, by the way.
They did have five. They did have five there. I forgot
Oh
who won
yeah,
it.
Huh?
I
yeah.
think
They
it was like
still
one of the
Street Fighter
side
Five
games.
time. Yeah, it's a side.
That's wild to think about that. It's now in the side game retro status of Street Fighter Five is now in the side game retro status. That's that is still wild to think about to this day. When just last year or the year before, like it was going through its final
Absolutely, guns
phases.
blazing. People were going in,
Yeah,
and now it's
yeah,
just like oh, 20-man bracket. But even then, Street Fighter Five, like the last year of Street Fighter Five, in terms of tournament numbers, there's a lot going to New Jersey local for Street Fighter. I
yeah.
think the Power Surge people were running,
Mm-hmm.
the Philly crew was running, NLBC. NLBC was getting like 6 people.
Wait, how
Oh
many?
yeah, the numbers went down drastically.
Cause I say,
Yeah.
NLBC drastically went down
uh,
the
uh,
rankings.
uh, uh.
Hmm.
I want to
Yeah.
ask. I know we got to move on to that topic, but I want to ask how many. What was the average number for your area for Street Fighter Five last year?
Let's see for like for Fox, if I saw a 20-person local, I was really impressed.
Okay,
I
that
think like 12. 12 was probably the most realistic number that you were getting
you
for
know.
a consistent at the literal
12.
end of five. When people said that they dislike Street Fighter Five, I believe them because they didn't play it.
Right. Uh, So the reason I asked because for our scene, it's like at least 14. The
Yeah.
ironic part, it increased, and especially after the pandemic, it increased offline locals. and we're like middle of Georgia. We're like not like, especially in comparison to something like Atlanta. And now I'm saying this is not to like knock against Atlanta or anything like that or any of the big scene, but it was interesting to see that our numbers in comparison was still like consistently higher average wise over like many other scenes. But it's weird to now hear that even beyond like northeast or north of us.
Yeah, because our we had yeah, because you
Yeah.
guys are about an hour and change away
Mm-hmm.
from where we're at. So I remember having to just drive out there if I just wanted to play Street Fighter Five, and yeah, you guys had the highest numbers. And over here, we just had like barely enough to make a bracket. We only had like
Right.
8 or 9, 8 or 9 in our area. So during the last 2 years, people was just like, I just don't like the game anymore. I don't like the game.
Mm-hmm.
And
Obligation
yeah,
Fighter 5.
yeah, it was just a love hate relationship, and people tried to play it again, and then it's like, nah, I'm good, I'm straight, I don't like
Yeah.
it, and then they just stopped playing it again, and that kind of is like, it's kind of like a weird moment because I'm kind of seeing shades of that
Mm-hmm.
in Street Fighter 6, and I'm thinking, I was like, bro, this game is not even in its first year.
Oh
I mean,
yeah, I
year it's
seen
not
that.
even year one. It's
The
not even we're
honeymoon.
not even 6 months into the game
The
being
well.
released, and I hear people saying that, hey, I don't really like. Yeah, I'm starting not to like Street Fighter 6 and stuff, and I'm like, so we definitely need to circle around and talk about this because I think this one is pretty important.
Oh yeah, we'll say the
Yeah,
honeymoon phase.
yeah. Because yeah, to the honeymoon phase. Yeah, exactly. The honeymoon phase is definitely
Now,
over
Coach
now.
said
The
that.
embargo has been lifted on the reviews, and we can officially talk about it now. So, Spaceboy, you
For me,
mentioned it
I'm always
earlier.
like, for me, like I low key, I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, why am I playing this game? If I do, like, if I do jab, I react to the dry rush, but I react too quick. That makes me so mad. It makes
Hmm.
me literally like, I was like, oh, how am I too good? And I'm getting counted here. I'm joking about being too good. Well, I'm getting punished because I reacted too early. Like that is the thing that makes me so mad. I see it happen to like other players too. They'll react too quickly, and it's like, holy crap, come on.
Bro, nothing beats the feeling of reacting to DI, and it just does. So sometimes it's just not coming out because you pressed it too early, and
Oh
like
yeah,
you see, like you immediately see the red flash. Okay, yeah, here's the hit the button, but it doesn't come out, and you'd be like, bro, what happened? I
because of the
pressed it.
wake up system. Yeah, because of the wake up system, your button got eaten.
Mm, that's what it was. Whatever normal button you had canceled from. Yeah, because I think the timing is different, right? Depending on which button you cancel from DI into, like from lights and mediums and heavies, they all had like different, uh, like slightly different times to react for DI, like counter DI. If you get someone DIs you first, but yeah, seeing that, you also mentioned because you was talking about finesse earlier. He was like, well, finesse doesn't is not too fond of the game, and I was like, did you pick his brain
I
and
can
ask him
understand.
why he didn't like it?
It's because well, things always get worse when your favorite character isn't in your favorite series. So it's like I was real with Strive. I said, oh, Vikings here, cool. I'm gonna play it for 1 week. That's literally what happened. I played Strive for 1 week. I didn't pretend. I'm like, oh, I'm back and guilty because I just don't like the game's engine. So I was just like, okay, I'll just play for a bit. Bike and see it. Oh, this is not nearly as cool as Bike and use. So he's playing the game. He doesn't like the engine, which is understandable because the complexity of Street Fighter Five is like it's like eating mall Chinese. Everything you do has really like just one flavor. What do you really say about Driver? You go really, and that's really the
Hmm.
applications of it. What do you say about Drive Impacts? You just you tank 2 hits and then you do a massive hit if they didn't block after absorbing the and that's really it. And the air dasher is inherently, if you give any game an air dash, a level of complexity increases just because of the movement options and what the characters can. So a game like
Hmm.
Persona is absolutely in every way just as absurd as Street Fighter 6, and even more so absurd because of the tools and how dominant characters can be.
But at the very least in that game, you have so many movement tools to navigate against what happens. This is a Street Fighter game that has super dash. It also has a very strong version of the Focus Crumple. The
Mm.
Focus Crumple was pretty good for it had circumstances where if you called somebody out for something, it would work. If they called out your focus attack, of course, you're the one eating damage. The same way for drive impact. Anytime you drive impact and you're wrong, you're essentially eating and jumping, and you're losing a bar and a half.
Mm.
So it's interesting enough where if you're just a spectator and you just see like a character just zoom at somebody, like, oh my god, they're moving so quick, how are they gonna stop this? Or you see the freeze of drive impact, you're like, oh my god, they're gonna take so much damage out. This is a perfect spectator game where once again the players are kind of being what's the polite word? Hmm. What's a polite word to say you're getting screwed? Uh, where the
Um,
player's in a tough situation.
bamboozled.
Yeah, they're
Bamboozled?
being bamboozled.
Hoodwinked.
That's the word I would definitely use for any situation I see in Street 6. I bamboozled this guy. That's definitely what I would say.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I like game engine wise, I will say that I am not a fan of Burnout. Um,
No,
it's
not at all.
just, yeah, I really don't like that it's tied to your offensive pressure. Of course, it wants you to be. It feels like the game wants you to just be like an offensive monster. Like there's no time to like really play that defensive zoning type of style. I mean, they have those characters in the game, but
Mm.
I feel like everything is like because you're constantly
Yeah, those are
taking
the best characters too.
damage. Yeah, and those are the best characters too because they're eating
They
away
deep
at your
dive.
god gauge. Yeah,
I
you
didn't
want
even
to.
argue Luke that to the extent of Stan Media Parts and Stan Media Kick, he's one of those characters. He's pretty small.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like if you want to play slow, play J, and he can just demolish people too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It, like I said, the thing is like it makes more sense about how like characters like Ken, DJ. I mean, especially Ken like being a rush down now and having tools on top of that is scary. And like I said, and I said Shire's not really wrong. Personally, I agree with Shire's on it about the game is more offensive oriented. Now, granted, yes, you do have defensive tools. You have more defensive tools now, thankfully, which I personally wanted as opposed to Street Fighter Five. But overall, I think the developers want to focus on a constant engagement between the players because not only for the players but also for the viewers. It's not because they don't think it's fun to be like someone like Guile and sit in the corner and just like throw things, fireballs here and there, or throw fireballs. I can defend or deflect that, throw fireballs, wait is for you to come to me type of thing. And then it goes that route. Even though that's a legit strategy, is now like you gotta engage. And that's not only just for Street Fighter, that's only for many other games in general. Is that concept of the viewership now playing a major effect into the gameplay design? And it's really interesting to see that. And granted, now like Street Fighter Six is I argue the Street Fighter Six is solid. It's fun, great game to play. I enjoy the hell out of it, but at the same time, I won't really argue against people who feel differently about it, and especially subjectively, because and looking at it in different. Not only from my perspective, I look at other perspectives too. But as far as the viewership wise, people like to watch it here and there, and then they have something to talk about because there's something always going on in their end, and that's what they have to see. And for the players, that's like, you know what? I don't want to try to engage all the time. I want to turtle or be defensive or get away, and I still get rewarded as a result. No, unless you pick certain characters that can do that and still kind of get away with it. Nope. You may lean to no. You should pick Ken. You should pick. Don't pick Dawson at all. Don't pick him.
I'd say, there's only 6 characters you can solo and have a pretty good shot.
Mm-hmm. Go for it.
Yeah, there's characters like I'll lose to No Need to Dodge Lily. I'm not gonna lie, Cap about that.
and
Mm-hmm.
even like Mike Too Strong Steve, like those guys, like I have to like just bring my A game if I want to win. So you can make like those characters work, but to do that every day, every single tournament that you enter is just so difficult. So
Mm-hmm.
already we kind of have we at the very least have overcome the Street Fighter Five obsolescence issue
Mm-hmm.
only because there's so many characters.
Mm.
I mean, there's so little characters. So you can say, "Oh, I like Luke over Ken," and I won't think you're crazy. But when Luke came out in Street Fighter Five, every single show was for very obvious reasons.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
But
Go
or
on.
even like if you say, "I want to play Chun over Jury," I won't think you're weird.
Hmm.
Well, same thing in Street Fighter Five. Chun and Jury were really good
Yep.
towards the
Just
end
a
of the game's life cycle.
little
So
high
it's
learning
like,
curve.
what was it?
A higher learning curve for Chun Li, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Street Fighter Five Chun. The only Chun who made them work was like Ludovic, uh, Chun Nation. Chun Nation, I don't think he's playing anymore.
Terrence. Well, before he.
Terrence as well. Soriku. Soriku is Terrence.
Yep.
There's another Chun Li I'm forgetting.
Wait. Crack. No.
I know exactly what you talk about. He always wears that yellow outfit, and I cannot think of his name right now.
Demon.
Um, shoot, he
There's a
used to
different
stream
one.
too. He used to stream. Oh my gosh. And I just remember him always wearing that yellow Chun outfit, and I cannot think of his name right now. But I know who. I think I know who you're talking about as far as Chun players, like dedicated Chun
He was
players.
pretty good, so I want to remember his name.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Hmm.
but yeah, those particular types of characters. I feel like in this game, everyone can win because I mean people are still trying to figure stuff out, and I think it's like okay, they're saying they don't like it now, but I think later down the road when they come back and revisit it,
Mm-hmm.
especially after the major balance patch, I definitely think people who may have written off the game, um, in the earlier days, they probably like, okay, well, let's see how this game looks in the in the big balance patch because I feel like they're going to adjust the mechanics of the game as well. Like I think they're going to take a look as far as moves go, like chip damage. They're going to change some of they may change some of the mechanics up a little bit. Just add a little spice, for season two for sure. And I think since they say, all right, we're not going to do no big patches until after Akuma comes out that year one, and then we'll see. I think that's when people are going to come back to revisit it if they decide to write off the game. But if they're still playing it, I think they'll enjoy that patch too as well. So in regards to that, like uh, mechanic wise, looking at the game, I think it's interesting that they even added modern mode to this game because they added modern mode, they added auto combos. Like they're trying to look at it more of an accessible option
Mm-hmm.
for newer players to come in and make that impact. And that's why I thought to myself, like, there's two different. I feel like there would be two different tier lists, right? That we could separate the characters and the control type, like modern and classic. Since we're like officially what the third, fourth month since Street Fighter Six came out,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like everyone can win in the game. Like there is a it's a great balance, but however the skill gap, I think it's a player based thing. Like players like Snake Eyes, of course, getting the poster child for the low tier heroes. You mentioned No Need with his Lily, earlier on, Mike Too Strong is another Eve too as well. People are making those characters work, and it's like everybody else probably written them off and be like, oh, these characters are bottom three. Lily, Sim, Geef, all those characters suck and stuff. But here you go, you got the players out here who are making these characters work at the highest degree, and you're kind of wondering like, yo, how are they able to, do what they do with their characters? What do they know about the game that I don't know about? So
Mm-hmm.
it kind of, I think that's a good thing that kind of pushes people towards trying to get to that level too as well. Because looking at it right now, so Retro put it up as far as the modern tier list. just basically something I had sent him before we got started. Here would be the characters that I feel that are like the strongest right now in modern mode, just in modern mode in general. Um, there you guys see it with like the strong, the mid, and then the low or not enough data can be determined for the character as of yet. It's still early, you know. There could be a modern Kimberly or a modern Rashid out there in the works that people be like, yo, why would you play the modern version of this character? But I mean, modern, you're starting to see more modern players pop up. And Spaceboy, how do you feel about modern mode?
I was thinking about playing Martin Luke for Guile, but I think I'm figuring out enough for the matchup on my own that where it's like it would be fine for me to just play classic. Uh, I think you have to have a really good supers to utilize modern. So
Hmm.
I know
Hmm.
Jick is playing modern,
But
and
you said Jack is playing modern Honda.
Jick,
JP.
Um, oh,
no, no,
JP.
Jick D.
Oh,
No,
Jick
you
D.
guys don't know Jick?
Oh, Jick.
I don't
Yeah,
think.
oh yeah, Jick D. Yeah, Jick D. The Honda. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's playing
Oh,
modern
Yeah,
Honda.
oh. Sorry.
yeah. So he will play that, and I just can't drive impact him. We played a first and 10. I only got one drive impact on him when he was burnt out. Every other time he supered me. And I can't even like do certain things because the threat of just even using drive impact at him is just so high that I can't do that. So if you play on turn, you don't have to play reaction fighter anymore.
Mm.
You don't have to worry about reacting to things
Hmm.
on
Mm-hmm.
a very high level because well, now you can just use a macro and sure, you try to drive impact me. Instead of taking 2k damage, you're taking 1.6k damage from the super. And that can still be a win condition if you pair it with a poke. You only need 20% damage, even in this game, to have a life lead. Because, yeah, sure, they can drive impact at you. I mean, they can do like button cancel to drive rush, but if you know they're going to button cancel, you get the drive reversal every time. So, modern tones down a lot of the craziness of the game a lot. I can see why it's attractive. I personally just do not play characters that benefit from it. And the top tiers like Guile, JP, Jury, and Ken, I don't think they benefit from it that much because they already just circumnavigate the craziness. So
Mm.
Ken and Jury are the craziest you can get. So they don't have to worry about people being crazy. They're the ones going crazy. And JP and that does not matter. So I do wonder if someone like Kimberly will benefit from modern. Just looking at her toolkit, I don't see why it does. She doesn't have special so powerful. I mean, supers or even specials that are powerful in neutral to necessitate using modern and using those macros. I think I think there is a pretty good case for modern Luke if the Luke players want to experiment with that. I'm still thinking about it.
Luke.
I think if I'm having an off day, I should probably play modern Luke. That
I
might
mean,
be what I consider to.
I think that'll be. I mean, even if you don't main it, like I think that would be something to just like experiment with a little bit. Because I also asked another modern player, oh, it's not modern player. I also asked another Luke player, and they tried it out. They said it was okay, but they wanted to have access to all of the normals. It's like, yeah,
Yeah, that's really the
I
only issue.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, even if he did, I was like, well, what about the normals you don't really use like that? He said, I just want to be able to have access to all the normals, and I said, okay, well, that's just an option. Of course, modern does take away some of the normals, and it also maps some of the normals to like the auto combo button. So when you're doing combos, you got to press two buttons just to get one particular normal, and then press another button
Mhm.
in the combo to make it work. So yeah, I could kind of see. I mean, it's not that bad. Like once you get used to it, but it's the fact that you got to press two buttons just to get a particular normal from the start of the auto combo, and you can delay it to get make you could delay it to make the combos easier. I mean, it's a bit of a science to it. But again, I know it's not for everybody. Everybody won't prefer that. They're so used to the traditional classic style, give me the six buttons any day and just call it a day. But I do think that modern has potential.
Mm.
Um, but like I think I kind of agree with what Spaceboy was saying, where that if you don't have that reactionary good super,
Mm-hmm.
your character can't really benefit from it like it could be. Like there's no threat. Like there wouldn't be an approachable threat versus like
Mm-hmm.
if you didn't have an a reversible super to like kind of slow your opponent down. So if your super wasn't that great, then you really wouldn't benefit from the modern mode like that. At least I think that's what Spaceboy was trying to say, right?
No,
Is that
that's
right?
literally my point.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that's literally
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to make sure because I'm like, what would modern sim look like? What would
Hmm.
modern
Yeah, I don't
gaming?
see that.
Yeah,
Because
but
like
you don't really see it like that, right? Yeah.
modern DJ doesn't matter because your level one isn't even involved.
Mm. Yep. I'm agree. As a DJ player, yeah.
I mean, you do get the auto, level two. You know what I'm saying? Where you don't have to press nothing. So
Now
ain't no
that's a
rhythm,
good point.
Oh,
no
you don't even
rhythm
have to do the
guessing.
rhythm game?
Nah, you don't do the rhythm game with modern DJ.
Yeah,
You just press the buttons and then it just does it for you.
because the thing is, it's a different to stuff. Because level two with if you do it with medium, there's like a 3-4 frame window per rhythm, and the heavy version is 1 to 2 frame window per rhythm part. Yeah, it's oh boy. Trust me, I literally struggle with that super. I'm glad I'm not the only one, but still, I mean, the thing is, it's very beneficial. Like if you can get it down right every time, but still, and for classic. However, that's not gonna still push me to the modern side. I respect the modern.
Yeah.
I'm glad for the people who embrace the modernness of it
There,
and make it easy for y'all. I'm glad all the JPs out there that tried to beat me with modern, but they still lost, except for X Rush, Two Rush. Shouts to you, but yeah, good for me. I still, because like I said, I look at it at modern as a sense of it. Like you guys are saying, it helps players either struggles in like certain aspects or like basically makes it some different strategy about it, even though at a cost to operate the character and whatnot and give you an idea how it operates. But a lot of people look at it as an easy mode or makes everybody too good. And like I said, granted, we had Hatani in as a Chun Li modern Chun Li at Evo. I mean, what second, third or fourth place, but still
top
top
six.
six. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. So, but still, it's where it's
I
how it's
hate
so.
top six though.
Hmm.
You hate the format, the top six format.
Oh
I
yeah.
really don't like it. It's just like it's like okay, now two players are going to pay tribute and just be salty for their trip. In an ideal FGC, you should be able to you
Oh
should be
man.
able to be proud of like a top 16 placement and be acknowledged for that because top 16 is actually really hard.
It
Right.
is.
If you say to someone, "Hey, I consistently place top 16," in my eyes, you're close to like becoming really consistent at a high level.
Mm.
But top 8 is hard enough, and now you're saying top 6? Come on.
And how many players was it? It was like 7,000 something.
Seven
It's
thousand
like
seventy.
let me
Like,
check. Let me actually check.
it was 7,071 or two. Yeah, it was like over that
Yeah,
much.
7,000 something players, and then
83 players, and now you can't be proud of your top 8.
right. You know what I'm saying? I can't even stand in the top eight with me. If you make top
Yeah,
eight,
Yeah.
bro. It's like damn. Like
But
I was
look,
like,
hey,
your
they
top
should have been
8
there.
still got paid out at the Reeves. That's what I'm finding out. Top 8 still got paid out.
I think it still got medals too, right? Even though,
I'm not
Actually,
sure. See,
top
that's the
16
part I'm
got
not
paid out
sure
at
about.
Reeves. Yeah,
I
top
didn't.
16 from what's Liquipedia helped ran by Incross, really great guy.
mhm.
It says top 16, and you got 650 for at least getting top 16, so that's pretty good. If
Yeah,
Evo cost you 2,000, at least you're getting like $650. But
but yeah,
based on the names, it's like Japanese player, so that definitely costs like 3K.
but sure, hey, lose a modern Chun Li in the process though. But
Yeah, I mean modern, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's interesting. I think there's
mm,
still people out there that are experimenting with them, and I am starting to see more modern players coming in and trying to make things work. I've seen a really strong modern Cammy. I've seen a really
yep,
strong modern
I can do that
Ryu.
work.
Yeah, yeah, characters like that, like that can get combo conversions off of their
I
their
can see
their
that. Yeah,
supers. Yeah, that's pretty good too.
yeah.
But
I, actually, yesterday I actually played against a modern Cammy, a modern Ken, a modern JP, and a modern Lily. I actually had nothing. I did not play a modern Zangief, but I did play a bunch of Zangief. So I think a Blanca too. I mean, like I said, it was interesting. Yeah, it was a modern Blanca too. Yep, it was interesting, but to me, it didn't really bother me because I just look at what they're trying to do, and it's like, oh, well, with the tools that they have and all, that's fine. It's easier to react to stuff. I'm just bait you. Like I play DJ. I'm like, I'm gonna just trick you out to react at the wrong time, and I still can punish you for it. So, and like I said, it could also depend on the character because, like I said, that character could, if it had to have a good reaction, super or whatever, whatnot, it may be maybe a little still bit of struggle regardless. But even then, for me personally, I might not care too much about what the controls you use, even though I understand why. I'm like, no, I'm like, I understand like, hey, whatever tools that you're gonna lack, I'm gonna exploit that. Well, oh wait, you lost your anti-air, or your poking or your counter poke, whatever tool as a result from modern. I'm taking advantage of that. I'm gonna just keep doing, something that will, like I said, I take advantage of the losses that you have as a result, and go from there.
yeah,
I mean, I won my matches, but yeah.
Yeah. I
yeah, I
like how they
just
design modern,
mm,
because at the very least, like for the most part, integral tools for the character aren't gone. So like if I were to play modern Luke, I can still use stand meat punch. I can still use his cross up.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that like his cross liking is actually pretty good because people walk back so much, and his cross mini kick is punchable block, so it's actually good. You're giving that up if you use modern. So it was very deliberate and well designed, that system. So
mm.
if you want to make it work, you can make it work. Because Giyu, the entire life cycle of Street Fighter V, that guy was playing V Trigger 2 Jury.
True.
It's like V Trigger 2 Jury, but better. Like he just said
Yeah,
he liked it. And I was just but like why? And it's like he was great because like when he played V Trigger 1, it was like Rock Lee, the weights are coming off.
Oh, Lord.
But Well, yeah, he should play chicken too. So like now you can do that. You can definitely you can play modern Luke, and you could actually do pretty good at back. I think there's a I think he was I forgot what region he was from, but there was a modern Luke that Pump was fighting. He was actually pretty good. So it's very interesting. I want to see more playstyles flourish. I wish dynamic was allowed in tournaments though. That would have been awesome.
it is. Modern, you can use modern in tournaments.
No, dynamic.
Oh, dynamic. Oh,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
oh
AI
yeah,
assisted
yeah, yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He said the forgotten
I would have
weapon.
loved. I would have loved to see like the punk YouTube video. What's up, guys? Oh wow, even I did the punk voice. I guess nobody can escape it, but like if you just said, "What's up, guys? I'm playing today with
Yeah.
dynamic, dynamic Cammy.
Dynamic.
Gonna see if I can beat these bots." I would have
Yeah.
loved to see like a tournament run like that.
Yeah, I'm by these
Yo,
But
fools.
a dynamic only tournament would be hype. I'm not going the retro.
yeah,
Oh,
Retro.
you know what? I might actually do it, and maybe at our local, and maybe somewhere else in another area in downtown. Because what happened is on Sundays I go to the other bar, and the bartender there, he's a fight game player, and I would throw like I put Street Fighter on the TV, and people who don't even play fighting games will flock to it and they start to do Street Fighter, and they're like, oh man, I just button mash, and I'm like, well, you know what? Here's a controller. Here's a control feature that does
yeah,
that.
you're right.
Yo,
Yo,
I had
dynamic. I'm
no.
here. I'm here
There
for
were
it.
there were money matches.
I
There were
love I'd love to play that, bro, so much. I love like gimmick tournaments.
oh
I
no,
don't like team tournaments too much. but I love like what was the Honda's horrible tournament that
Yeah.
happened this week? That
Oh
like more
yeah.
stuff like
Oh
that.
my
Oh, I want to hear
gosh.
more about that too.
Yo,
Oh
I got stories for
yeah.
days. I got
Ma-
stories for days about that.
Yeah,
Shout out to
cause
New Head FEC for hosting that, by the way.
Oh yeah,
That
they're
was
great. They're a
horrible
really
for
good
Danny.
crew.
that's
Yeah,
oh man.
that was the most chaotic online event I have
I
ever
bet.
seen, man. It was like it was people cheating, man, playing to win, 300 MS.
Wi-Fi
Oh
allowed.
man, look, they had a contest for the worst setup and controller. There was somebody playing with a Grinch mask using a VR headset. There was someone who
Oh
tried
yeah.
to enter the there was someone who tried to enter the tournament who didn't have the game, but they were playing on Wi-Fi in the airplane, and
Oh
they
my.
made it.
That's
They
pretty
made it to
good.
the bracket.
I heard about it.
Oh my
No,
gosh!
no. What was the story with that guy? What was the story with that guy? 'Cause he
Please.
don't have the game.
They actually got pretty far because their opponents were DQ'd. I mean,
Oh
they
my
didn't
god.
show. I mean, the people weren't showing up, so I guess he had like 2 round bye or something. And then I guess when it was time to play someone who actually had the game, I guess they tried to cheat their way into
Mm-mm.
saying, I don't know how they did it, but they negotiated a
I'm
like a
impressed.
tic tac toe. They play like a tic tac toe simulator to move on into
Oh
the
my
bracket,
god.
That's
and and
hilarious.
and they
Dude, that's
won.
so stupid. Something like that
Yo,
needs to happen like once every year. And we
Yeah.
need to get like we need to make that a community effort where it's just like it's such a huge event. We need Sage, we need Yikes to commentate.
yo,
We
Mm-mm.
that
that'd be great.
Yeah, that was the most chaotic
Oh
thing
my
I've
god.
ever seen. And there was somebody who used JP, right? So the event encouraged there was an event it encouraged cheating. So here it is. They said that JP was just an older version of Honda. That's all that was. You can
Ah!
stop playing. You can stop playing practicing sumo. That's it. You
I'm
can't use his
done.
account no more.
I'm
They said I'll
done.
allow it. They said I'll allow it. So they allowed somebody to use
Somebody
JP.
when I retweeted the event, somebody was like, "Well, I'm just gonna play my main because if cheating's allowed, then cheating's allowed." They didn't enter, but I was wondering if someone would do that, and they really let that rock. That's incredible.
They did, and I think it was someone had to do a trivia quiz to move forward in the bracket,
Oh
and
lord.
they two people agreed to play what Pokemon. What was it? Which is the mobile game?
Go.
The Pokemon mobile game? No,
It
not
go.
Go. It was another one.
Oh,
What's it called?
Unite.
Mercedes or
Yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah. Unite. Yeah, they agreed to
Oh,
play
the
Pokemon
mobile.
Unite to they agreed to play that to move forward into the bracket, and I'm
That's.
like, bro, this is the most craziest thing I have ever seen,
Oh my
and
god.
I'm glad they put
Yo.
that together, man. Because you know what was funny is that the person who used JP, they actually did play Honda, and they were a master Honda.
Oh wow.
That's massive. That's even funnier. I thought it was
That's
just
so
some dude. But that's even funnier. You made the character, but you're like, nah, that's not scummy enough. I'm gonna play JP in this Honda only tournament.
look, the geniuses came out to play that day, man. So
Yeah.
yeah, something like you said, something like that should happen every now and then, and just complete chaos that went on. So I'm with the idea of the dynamic mode only tournament, because I
Hmm.
think with dynamic mode you can still do
You
drive
get people who
impact.
actually play in bracket with people who never entered event.
Right. You still like the drop impact, the
Yeah, you can
reversal,
still
and
do drive pick,
parry.
drive impact, and yeah, you can do those manually. But everything else is like the AI decides for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like
So
like I said, the
I'm
people
with
no
it.
people were playing for shots and drinks at the bar with the dynamic mode. It was so funny. It was like 10 people. That was like, who got next? All right, let me get in. Like it was chaotic, and the bartender was just like, "Hey, I'm making money right now. Look, because they're buying each other shots for it. They're like, I owe you a drink if you do this. I don't know how much money. Like side bets. It was funny. It was so great.
I'll be
Yeah,
right
and
back, guys. I'm just gonna get some water.
nah,
All right.
and I bet that's gonna be like the one of the future things to get people to come in and play the game,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like that could be a way to market people into like being Street Fighter players. Like, hey, this is pretty fun. Maybe I want to learn a little bit more about this game. Or oh man, that combo looks so hype. How do I do it? And
Yeah.
it's like, hey, well, you buy the game, and there's a training
I mean,
mode that explains the mechanics, and it breaks it down for you. So I think
I mean,
that's a good. That was a really good thing for Capcom to put that
yeah,
into the
shoot.
game.
I mean, even though, like, the thing is, like I said, I know the main thing I'm talking about is the actual fighting part, but like I said, the other content has, like, the story mode and the battle hub and extra features and all. Like, people I've been spreading the gospel in that area. So people said they're going to buy it because, like, it's so much fun. And then with the dynamic mode, was like, you know what? Wait, I can button mash because ultimately, I know that some people are not going to care about the more fundamental, like, competitive advanced concept or the features of the game. But like I said, it could plant a seed in the long run. Because it's not them. Someone who don't want to try to learn it seriously might pick it up on their end. It could, like I said, it spreads over and over. That's a seed. It becomes roots and branches and grows to and flourishes and whatnot. So we'll see. You definitely could be right.
It is. It is. So I think that they did a beautiful job of putting that in there. So of course people, might not have that same mentality, but I think it's a good thing, man, for them to put in that they included modern and dynamic
Right,
code because I think that's kind of like that should be like one of the future things for fighting game is those accessibility options. Like they
right.
have what it was that evil with the blind warrior seven. He played Honda.
Sven.
Sven, yeah,
It's like a weird, yeah. Well, not kind of weird, but it's like that's how it's like Sven. But
yeah,
he's an
Sven.
OG player though. He been around since like Street Fighter 4 too.
Yeah, they added
Yeah, it's
the
playing the Blind Warrior.
yeah, they added the sound. They added the
Yeah.
voice thing
Mm-hmm.
for the yeah, they
Yeah,
added
he's
that in
on
Street
Honda
Fighter
now.
6.
You used to play Ken.
Oh, he switched to Honda. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good choice, bro.
Yeah, so the fact that they added that
Accessibilities.
sound cue, yeah, accessibility is that's pretty good, man. Because I think now those fighting games, those they need those options for those players to be able to, play and compete and have fun. Because they'd be like, hey, I could play this game, but unfortunately with my condition, this and that,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not able to compete. But now that they had those options, now that is an option for them to play, you're able to see them play and compete in those games. So, like, more games are starting to go the auto combo route, right? So you have to wonder, comparing it now to back then, when games didn't have auto combos, when you had to learn everything from scratch. Well, back in my day, we didn't have one button combos and one button supers and stuff like that. Kind of being the old man on the porch and waving your fist at the cloud angrily. Old man yells at cloud, but yeah, I mean, auto
Yeah,
combos in
things are
fighting
changing now.
games, yeah, they're definitely changing. The dynamic is definitely changing too as well. They want games to be more accessible. They're
Right.
starting to do
Right.
more
Right.
marketing and stuff like that. And you're now actually starting to see this included in trailers. Now they're starting to bring in the auto. They talk about auto combos in the trailers. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
if you want an easier, if you want an easier time of doing this combo, just press these two buttons and it does the combo for you or something like
Yeah, like
that.
stylish.
Yeah, something stylish or something. So
Right.
yeah, I think that's a good design mechanic, something to take note of for people to be like, hey, well, I'm not that great at fighting games, but I've always wanted
Mm-hmm.
to play this game. My friend plays it and he's pretty good. If only there was some way to I can be able to like try to at least hang with him in the game. And yeah, now there is. There's an accessibility option for you
Like,
to be able to compete. So yeah, auto combos. Yeah, how do y'all feel about them?
and I think they'll go along the same case with the dynamic and modern, especially. You know, I think, like I said, I'm very embracive and welcoming to those options and ideas. I think the problem with is relies within the community, the people themselves, where you know because we constructed so much, like specifically the FGC, it's more of a social, I say not social commentary, but it's more of a the thing within the people where they're like, oh, it's easy mode. Y'all can't do the quarter circles like a true man or a true person or whatever. It's the idea of what a fighting game, how it should be, and if it goes against what the traditional concept is, it's a taboo. I think that's really the bigger issue about it because, like I said, like I said, the thing is for me, you know, I'm classic. I'm always gonna be traditional. I say was classic inputs and everything like that. That's how I am. That's how I'm used to, and so forth. But I'm not going to judge you or push you down on like for or developers to say, let's put modern mode, let's put the auto combo mode, or let's put this in and make it easier for you to cancel the drive rush. To do dash dash versus you have to hold this and do this. Just press the button now. Great. No, that's perfectly fine. I think like the problem is that it gets to where is at the I say FTC as a whole. This is like a bit of a criticism towards it. Is when we get so caught up in the tradition concept and the old ways of how the fight game operates, and when there comes a change for it that try to open up gates for other people to come through, it's always like a grain. It felt like going against grain against us, and we go against it. I really hope that we can start embracing it a little bit more about it. And well, I mean, the thing is that having it now and having the balance of like having the auto combos that like maybe a cost of less damage or whatever, that's fine. And the people who really want to pick that up, like I said, they may not get into it seriously, but they may, might be intrigued about it to get into it in the long run. And either way, I think it speaks on just like, how we should learn to embrace it. And there's a lot, just, hey, let it play through. Because it's not going to really, I mean, because the way you want to play the game is not, you can play the game you want. There are people going to come in that are going to play all the combos and modern. That's the way they want to play it. And I'm kind of a little appreciative about it, but like still, I really think that it's a good thing for to market it that way because, like I said, they're not. We're actually the FGC is a small bubble compared to the millions and millions of other people in the world, and potentially billion, that want to get games like this, and to just really have the developers to cater to what the more competitive, more serious people that like the traditional inputs and fundamentals. It really actually is a counterintuitive to growing the community because you want more people to be involved in the community in the long run, but to shut down ways that makes it easier for people to get into it and then eventually go to that point where they might learn the more harder fundamentals, all that stuff. That's the thing. You don't want to shut that down. Let's say it's counterintuitive. So I personally, I'm okay with what they're doing, marketing with the auto combos, features, and whatnot, and for the newcomers, because like I said, not everyone grew up being the not everyone. Honestly, everyone born here, shoot, they not grew up just learning the hard inputs. Because Street Fighter 2 and whatnot came out, or Street Fighter 1, not everyone knew what a quarter circle was. Not everyone knew what a half circle was. Like not or Dragon Punch or all that stuff. So for to us to then turn around and say, well, you don't do the quarter circle, therefore you're not worth being a player. You're not good. You do the auto combo stuff. That's the easy bait. I'm like, you wouldn't even do that yourself in the beginning.
Yeah, it's just like a elitism where,
Right.
and you never even see like the literal top best players condemn these things. There are things where it's just like, I remember Punk was saying he did not like the drive rush that was added to 5. I mean to 6,
Right.
where like you can now just macro drive
Right,
rush
right,
very,
right.
and that's very strong. Now I don't even practice. I was practicing my jab hit confirms into driver's cancel. Now I just press a button. I just have to like hit
Right,
it back.
right.
It depends, because any
Mm-hmm.
tool that you add to the game for a new player to add accessibility to make things easier for them, a pro
Mm-hmm.
player can utilize it and actually break
Mm-hmm.
the system.
Hmm.
I do think it is funny how like a game like Dota is gaining more popularity and it's adding more complexity. It's not about how hard the game is; it's how accessible it is. If
Mm.
that makes sense.
Mm.
Making things easier doesn't make it more accessible. So like,
Mm.
if you think about it, DNF should be the most popular. Is I think it's the easiest fighting game to teach someone, quote unquote. But it isn't because of the way it was marketed. So
I think if devs are making more accessibility to garner more players, they're barking up the wrong tree because Grand Blue wasn't popular because it was easier. DNF wasn't popular because it's easier. The success is those people like those games. Street Fighter 6 is actually a pretty hard game, if you think.
Hmm.
But it's popular because the characters are cool, the story mode's great, communities. Hmm, community infighting is at a pretty low state. I think like every week, not every week, but every other week, there's some sort of controversy for a Street Fighter 5. That's what it felt like sometimes. I think I'm completely wrong about that.
Hmm.
Even like the Twitter fighting that you saw for Street Fighter 5, I haven't quite seen that yet for Street Fighter 6 outside of the crackers.
Yeah,
But
during
it's
that
about
during that whole
community.
period, yeah.
It's about community. How fun is the game? How accessible it is in the sense of like how can I play with other people?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Because even for me, when I was learning piano, I'm still learning. I'm still early on. It was really difficult because I just had no clue how to move forward. But when I had like a chord book to practice with, that's what made things better. So I think if devs want more people to play their fighting games, no matter how hard it is, if the devs understand the mechanics of the games well enough to teach players how to get better, then they'll see more people want to play their games.
Okay. All
Hmm.
right. Yep. Yep. Fair enough. That I definitely think that'll be the direction going forward, for future fighting games as well. And I haven't taken a look at the Mortal Kombat One control scheme, but I do know for Tekken 8 they have a button, easier access for combos in Tekken 8. They had it in 7, but I think they're more fleshed out in 8 now, with its inputs. But yeah, that was just basically just want to see your thoughts on that since we're on the topic of modern mode, since this is the first Street Fighter where a control type can actually determine the strength of a character. And again, there's still so much that's left to be explored in the game. It's
Absolutely.
still super early, man. We're not even on month 6. We're not even 6 months in. It's still early for the game. So again, people are still figuring things out, trying to pace test.
Funny enough,
I know that's
yesterday
what
was
I'm doing.
exactly the 2 month mark.
Yeah,
Yesterday
yeah.
exactly 2 months Street
Oh
Fighter 6
yeah,
was up.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's still super early.
Wait,
The people are saying that they're not a fan for the game right now.
August
That's fine.
3. Yeah.
Just give it some more time. Just give it some more time. They can always come back to revisit, and later down the line when characters come out, I'm sure their curiosity will kind of catch them, and they want to try those characters out, and maybe they'll rediscover the love for the game. Street Fighter Five. It was a on and off love hate relationship type of game with certain people, and I mean some people just dismissed it immediately, but I know that certain players would take a break from it and then come back, take a break, come back, stuff like that, and that's kind of like a natural cycle for a player too as well. So I think that'll be the case here. So maybe they'll put it down for now and then they'll come back later on in the game and just like, okay, let me give it a shot again, because again, there's still stuff being discovered. Matchups, not every matchup has been fleshed out. There's still questionable. Like what happens when these two characters fight. I've never seen this matchup. So I hopefully will. When Aki comes out in a few weeks, she kind of can shake things up a little bit, and maybe more players. That'll be the character for players to get introduced to the game. So yeah, good stuff, good talks on that. But before we move on to our ads here, because we're coming up on the 2 hour mark for the cast, Spaceboy, was there anything you wanted to discuss that you had on your mind?
Anything? Um, I can't think of anything in particular. I just think, no, really. I'm just having fun with the conversations that are being
Okay.
discussed right now. So I can't tell.
All right. Cool. Cool. No problem. Well, I definitely do appreciate you taking your time out of your Sunday to talk with us. Retro, did you have anything before we move on to our ads?
Of course, I mean, it technically could be is the ad in itself, but prior to that little discussion, the Evo had an update on the date.
Yeah, yeah. I saw that tweet. It said it was going to be at a new location, but they said Evil Las Vegas in there. So I'm thinking it's still going to be in Vegas, but at a new spot.
Yeah, a new spot, and then they moved out a weekend from the 19th to the 21st.
Okay.
Yep. So like I said, it's gonna be very interesting to see that take place because like I said, yeah, because I remember they said it was a new Evo that they're gonna announce too later down the line during Evo last month. So which I'm actually curious, what is the third Evo gonna be?
Okay, okay. See, I interpret it as it being it's still going to be in Vegas, but at a different location. So
No,
so
no,
it's
it's just
actually going to
evil. It's a
be.
different continent, bro. Could be a different continent. Could be evil Europe. I think.
That's what I'm thinking too.
I low key would love like Evo South Africa or Africa. I think they should do
Hmm.
it in Ghana, but I
I
know
mean,
that's not gonna
I mean, I would think UK would kind of be like one of the more obvious choices for them to go to.
Yeah, Europe.
Yeah, Europe. Yeah, evil Europe. Maybe Saudi Arabia. That's also a thing
Yeah.
too. You saw the production on that. I don't know if you saw the production on that Gamers 8 tournament, but we still talk about it. We talked about it in our last broadcast about how the production on that went crazy, and I'm like, well, maybe they could have Evo in Saudi Arabia. Who knows? But I think once they make that announcement, we'll see how it goes. Shoot, could be Evo New Jersey, Evo Atlanta. The sky's the limit.
I don't know about
It's
Jersey. It'd be
Evo.
really convenient.
I'm sure y'all got a big old convention center somewhere over there. So,
Well, we got a
uh,
ton. We got a ton. But even still, I don't know, but New Jersey is the exotic place that people want to travel to.
gotcha. I see what you're saying.
I live in Philadelphia,
See the
so
abandoned steel mill of New Jersey. Witness the dumpster fires that are here on occasion.
Ooh,
Yeah,
see,
yeah. I don't know if that's the
people
thing.
taking pictures. Yeah, they
Yeah.
want to. You see the sights, see the sights of Jersey.
Yes, yes. Look, a dead raccoon on this busy intersection. New Jersey's also scenic. It has beautiful areas. I can see like Cape Town, New Jersey. Like you go dolphin watching. That'd be cool.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure Jersey definitely has a few spots that people can check out. For sure there.
But if
But
you
yeah,
were
just
to get a map of New Jersey, and a blindfold, and he asked someone to throw the dart, wherever it landed, I don't think they'd be very impressed.
oh darn, not too many attractions. Well, you said outside of the
Like
golf
New
course.
Jersey, New York, New Jersey is like New York, but everything is just so far apart. New York is like, yeah, sure, there's a billion like tourist traps in New York, but the locals will get over it in like by the time they're like 10. You see what I'm
See,
saying? But that's any
yeah,
place.
yeah, it
That's
just
any
becomes
place. New
normal.
York,
Yeah, I got you. It becomes a normal
yeah.
there. But yeah, okay. All right. Well, outside of that, retro. If we got the ads ready, we can get that on the road
yeah.
here. Yeah, 'cause I think
Um,
they're just getting ready to start top 24 at Summer Jam for Street Fighter
oh yeah,
6.
yeah, sure. I'll do it's not we'll do the events and stuff right quick. So give me a second. Since it's actually next week, our first event is coming up to announce. We're gonna have our third annual 9/11 Memorial Tournament at the Reboot Retrocade in Bar in Middle Georgia. Basically, we're doing once again a donation drive for Tuesday's Children, which is an organization that focuses on helping families of those who served, and especially in the military, and those in the emergency and medical forces. During the 9/11 attack, and basically supporting the families there and the victims of like any other tragedies. So we actually going to have a donation drive once again with them for a third year. We got tons and tons, literally have boxes and bags of prizes. We're gonna have basically where winners of each tournament is going to be able to have a free get a free nice package from Tuesday Children, and there will be raffles for additional merches to give out from the for the organization. So to be cool to collaborate with them for the third time. Goal is to raise $1,000. So the venue fee will go directly to the donation drive, and so the money for the raffle. But of course, we'll have the cash prizes, and we'll have merch prizes for those who, winners of the tournament. So definitely sign up for it if you can, and shout outs to them for allowing us to be part of this series. That's pretty much it for our event, and I believe Spaceboy said he had more details about the upcoming event that's happening soon.
Yeah, so I update a calendar for the FD. If you use your phone, it'll notify you if any tournaments are happening on a given. The newest events that I want to promote are, let's see, here we have upcoming on the 10th. We have Knuckledoo's newest tournament with his team Shopify Rap. It's a monthly tournament that's actually open to, I think, all the major, all of US, all of Canada, all of Mexico, PR, and DR. So this team is running an event called On the Rebels. Every month you'll be able to compete in an event where if you rack up enough points, the top 16 most scoring players, they'll play in an invitational of 16 players, and the winner of that actually gets a free trip to Evo.
Nice.
And that event is going to have 2.5K in terms of prize money every given month, and the invitational playoff is for $5,000. Then, of course, we have another Rival Fools coming up here in New Jersey for anybody who is entering the Rival Fools tournament or is near the New Jersey area. Happening once again at Reboot Studios in Garfield, New Jersey. Really great event, ran by Johnny Fraze. Tons of artist booths always pulling up. Feel free to direct message Johnny Fraze on Twitter if you have any artist vendors or really any vendor that you'd like to promote. We could see if we could get something working. We want to support local creators and other even like business folk in Rival Fools. All depends on what you're doing, but just talk to Johnny or even me. I could pass a message on to Johnny. And of course, we have 10 Moby Ramen there.
Okay.
Oh, ramen. Okay.
Yeah, he's always coming up with new stuff. So yeah, 10 Moby Ramen. So he actually had a dry noodles, which were very good last month. This month he's gonna bring back typical ramen, but I think he'll have the dry version too. It's actually really impressive how good it was.
Okay.
Pretty interesting talking to that guy because he always has like as a player I want to improve too, but it's very interesting because for him as a chef he's finding new and unique ways to improve and move forward with the way that he cooks. And in terms of other events, we have Zcatch. He's running the Saturday tournaments that I've been craving for, that everyone's looking. He's running the Battle of the Block tournament. I'm waiting on him. Like he's just getting things organized so he can get a new Start GG page for his next event. But if you're looking for a Saturday tournament, I would check out the Beat the Block series ran by Zcatch, a actually a round robin style tournament, very unique round robin style tournament where the best two players in a given pool make it out to top 8. So he's running a very unique event. And in terms of other events, we also have the World Warrior, East Coast World Warrior coming up on September 15th. This is the second one. So we have 3 left after that, and if you don't enter I'd say those 3, the chances of you qualifying for the World Warrior are very low. That's unfortunately what happened to Knuckledoo last year. He's essentially, I think it was 8 points for making top 8, but he came out of retirement during the third one. So just think of it like that. He missed 2 of them, and he still almost qualified. I'd say after this one, you're having a pretty tough shot, unless you're winning 2 back-to-back. So, yeah. September 15th is the next one. and the one after that, October 6th, but that's still a while away. So registration for this one closes as of the 15th at noon. So if you want to enter World Warrior and compete for your shot at Capcom Cup, $1 million, please, you got to register for these events.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Shadow said she had something that y'all should want to talk about.
Yeah, from the slides that I had that sent you there. If you can bring that first one up, and I'll go over it.
This, oops, do this. Is it about this? Wait, do you send me something?
Yeah, okay. All right, yeah. So this is DreamHack Atlanta. Of course, you see the dates there, December 15th to the 17th. There, that is going to be the big premiere event. The prize pool, I mean, the pot bonuses, I think it's 2,500 for Street Fighter 6. They have a variety of other FGC games that they're running there. I think it's Tekken 7. I think it's KOF. DNF Duel, but all of those tournaments will have prize pot bonuses too as well there. So that information, I mean, registration is open now, but yep, like there it is. That's the date. You'll see it, December 15th through the 17th. Hopefully, Ed is out before then. That way, I can get it practice up, and get it ready for DreamHack. But if not, then we'll see what happens there. Because I think at that, well, I don't think I did. I think I did apply for us to be content creators at DreamHack Atlanta, with having our own special panel for a live broadcast of an episode for the Street Fighter I Got Next podcast series. So I think that's a pretty big announcement there for us. That's going to be the leverage, or that'll be the step in the next direction, is to get our own booth and designated time slot. So if you wanted to see an episode live and direct in person at DreamHack, we're just waiting on feedback to see if we were selected. If not, we can still enjoy the event, enjoy the atmosphere and the competition as well. But I figured I was like, yo, let's just shoot your shot. You never know. If it happens, that's great. That's fantastic. But if not, you can still enjoy the festivities of the events. Then at least our application was considered. So
Yep.
yeah, I decided to, yeah, let's take it to the next level there. And being able to, if we do make it and get our own booth, I have some major planning to do content wise, and I just be excited to be a part of that experience, and me and Retro would hold it down.
Yeah, I'll be excited to be there, man. Either way, I'll be there no matter what, like they said.
I like the meme. I'm there no matter what.
Yeah.
Yep, that'll be us, yo. We're there no matter what, man. But yeah, that was primarily it for the announcements on our end. There is an event that's, I don't want to say, well, I don't want to say it's too soon, but I do think there will be an announcement after CEO Taku, an official announcement that will be made. But just something big is in the pipe works. Um, and just know that after CEO Taku, that is when the announcement will be made for that particular event. I'm pretty excited for it. It's going to catch a lot of people off guard. I will say that. So stay tuned and up to date. But that's all I can say for now in regards to that. So once again, I want to thank everybody so much for tuning in to this live broadcast. Once again, thanking Spaceboy for taking the time out of his day to talk with us for this episode 4. This episode will be archived on the Reboot Retrocade Gaming YouTube channel there. So if you once Retro makes the finishing touches on that, he'll make a live post on his Twitter and let you guys know when the episode will be ready for your viewing and listening pleasure too as well. Speaking of Sir Retro's Twitter, Spaceboy, where can the good people find you at on the social medias?
You can find me at I'm Your Space Boy on. Um, See, I'm so bad with like any other social media. I was gonna plug my Instagram, but I actually just completely forgot what my at was, and I'm too lazy to get my phone upstairs. So someday I'll do the Instagram stuff, but not today. So yeah, just Twitter at I'm Your Space Boy.
I'm trying to repair my computer at the moment, so there hasn't been any streams for me. Unfortunately, I am lucky. I have a laptop that's good enough to run Street Fighter 6 and Baldur's Gate at low graphics. Still beautiful low graphics, but yeah. So no streams for me. I stream at Twitch at Spaceboy FGC, but till I can get it repaired, no stream. And my YouTube is also Spaceboy FGC.
Okay. All right. And Sir Retro, where can get people find you at?
Pretty much anywhere. Said Twitter, um, Instagram, Sir Retro08. Find me on Facebook as well. Of course, here on Twitch, .tv/ Sir underscore Retro08. I'm also on Discord. Was Sir Retro universally, but because of the changes, I did not know what it would end up being. It's now Mayor of Macon, so you can find me on there as that. But I think they should have the original name too. But yeah, either way, you can look me up. You can Google me. Even you'll see my social media list. So definitely feel free to reach out to me. Have any questions? Or just want to talk, play games, or chill, whatever. So yeah, and shout out Ace. Last but not least.
All right, you guys can check me out on the Twitter at Mind of Shadow Ace. That'll be the primary component. You'll randomly catch me on a stream here and there. Uh, my Twitch is Shadow Ace SRK on there, and that is it. I mean that'll be it for us today. We definitely do appreciate all of our support. We're in season 3. I'm kind of speechless that we made it this far within our second year. It's our second year. If is that right, Retro? It's our second or third? Second or third? No, it's second year. Second year.
Yeah, second year,
It's
but
our
still
second.
like 3 seasons though.
Yeah, 3 seasons of the cast, man. Just thank everybody, all of our guests, for taking their time out of the day to talk with us. Stay tuned because I already got a person in mind for episode 5. Again, the Spaceboy episode will be available. Retro usually has it up and ready to go by 12 noon the following day. If not, he'll definitely have it up much soon.
Yeah.
And he'll tag us and let us know that it's live for the viewing pleasure. I'll definitely be re-listening to this at work because it helps make 2 hours of work go by, and
Mm-hmm.
you just can't you can't beat that. You can't beat that. So, thank you again, Spaceway, for taking your time out, and Sir
Appreciate it,
Retro.
man.
Sir Retro, where are we going next? Where are you gonna send the good folks to?
Well, you know what? Since you said about Homestead at that time, and because it may be a potential last event ever, I'm sending to Big Fateki, who's running the Tekken right now finals up to a certain point, and there will be Street Fighter 6. So enjoy and support the Big E's Summer Jam finals, please. Support the homie. Thank you to him for so many events over the years, especially for the Northeast, representing strongly, and definitely want to at least, if anything, support the scene, support his efforts, support his works, and support Big E. So send you guys over there to Beef with Techie. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for this episode. Thank you, Spaceboy, once again for gracing us with your awesome presence here. So thank you so much.
No problem at all, guys. It was a pleasure to be here.
All right, you guys have a good one. Good night, everyone.
All right.
Take care, everybody.
Yep. GG's. Take care.